countries. I want to talk more about this, these lockdowns and the COVID policy. Dr. Amesh Adalja is a senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, joining me live. And Doctor, we are seeing cases rise, but the reality there is that these lockdown measures have led to immense human suffering across China. And as I say, a rise, ironically, in cases, or perhaps not ironically. What's your view on this zero COVID strategy? And does it make sense to you?
Zero COVID has never made sense to me. And you can see when you try to implement it, it's a complete failure. And I think that stems from the fact that this is a virus that can't be eradicated, that can't be eliminated, that transmits efficiently, that was always destined to become endemic. Your goal with COVID-19 has always been to separate cases from hospitalizations and deaths, to remove the ability of the virus to crush hospitals, not to eradicate or eliminate it. That's a fantasy. And it's unfortunate that people in China have had to suffer so long because of the Chinese government's adherence to kind of fantastical thinking that is not based in reality.
For those, I mean, zero COVID policy has basically meant very few people, although the numbers are ticking up, have actually had COVID, which means, I guess, but correct me if I'm wrong, it is much, much more likely as they come out of COVID that cases will tick up. There's no immunity, correct?
There's no immunity from infection because so many people have not been infected. What they do have fairly high vaccination rates in the general population, but we know that those vaccines are probably not as effective as the Western vaccines. So there are a lot of people that have this kind of immunity gap that will increase cases. But I think it's more important for China to focus on protecting those at risk for hospitalization by putting effective vaccines into them, getting drugs like Paxlovid available, and making sure they have capacity, rather than this unsustainable approach that can never end based on what this virus is. If they stick to this, there's no end in sight, and it really is going to lead to untold suffering, both of people's lives and economically for their country.
So if the lockdown were to be dropped, what would that look like in China, given current cases and vaccine rates, to your mind?
What we would see is a surge in cases. That's not going to be anything surprising. The virus is still there. It's going to spread. The question is how many high-risk people are going to get infected. And we know that China did things backwards. They actually didn't make the vaccine available to people above 60 early on. And we know that that's still trickling down, and there's not that many high-risk people that are vaccinated. So I do think that they would see a surge in hospitalizations and deaths among the high risk. Whether they're able to handle that with capacity, that's a question that only they can answer, because they've been able to build hospitals very quickly. But the point is, they're going to have to do this at some point. They've had 2.5 years to use mRNA vaccines in their population, yet they've refused them. So it really, to me, is a situation of their complete doing. It really reflects utter incompetence from the Chinese government to allow this to fester on for 2.5 years in this manner with this magical thinking.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Thank you, Doctor.